Tonight on CTV News, we will update you on the ASCSU payroll bill passing along with the first veto in over 2 years and the latest on the Hughes Stadium.
Then in sports, a deeper look into superstar Tom Hilbert and highlights from his current 300-win career.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Kenneth Frederick.
And I'm Samantha Medley. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Our top story tonight, we have an update on the ASCSU bill from last week, and the conflict between the executive branch and Senate is increasing, as seen by the use of a presidential veto and a Senate veto overturn for the first time in 2 years.
Check on all ASCSU pay raises until a process to regulate pay increases is created. This was a result of the executive branch wanting to spend discretionary funds left over from the summer and early part of fall to give pay raises to cabinet members. Last week, the bill had its second reading and was approved by the Senate until President Taylor vetoed the bill, saying that the Senate had already given them the permission to spend the money when they approved the executive budget last semester. President Taylor also added that the narrative around the pay raises was put in a misleading context.
In efforts of being transparent and sending it to Senate leadership, that was when that narrative was changed. And it was, we are increasing our pay and not telling any senators on purpose. And so the story was kind of controlled in a different light. Which is unfortunate because we did this in efforts of being transparent.
Speaker Pro Tempore Tristan Reyes felt that the disunity was coming from a difference in perspectives and a lack of respect going on behind closed doors, saying that the Senate felt like they were doing their duty and President Taylor thought it was an attack on executive.
The Senate is trying to hold the executive branch accountable for using student fees, for the work that they're doing, for how we felt, for some of the actions that have been taken.
Reyes spoke on many of the issues that occur in the ASCSU, explaining that most happen behind the scenes, even going as far as to say there is outright lying between the branches. Chair Marlis Hazelton spoke on the importance of having rules being enforced due to what has been going on in the last few weeks, saying that tensions between the legislative and executive branch is nothing new, but conflict behind the scenes has become more prominent this semester.
This is an ongoing issue. This isn't new information. The difference is it's happened a lot more behind closed doors than it has this year. And we have had experience very high tensions between the legislative and executive branch for a multitude of reasons.
In the end, the veto was overturned in a vote of 21 to 4 to 1.
We will continue to update you as the situation in the ASCSU develops further. Stay tuned for next week as we have Weston Hubbard covering the weekly meeting and any other advancements.
The Fort Collins Police Department has expanded to include a mental health response team. This team was designed in order to increase safety and to ensure that citizens are given the help they need in emergency situations.
COVID, the post-pandemic is viewed by many as a mental health one. The Fort Collins Public Safety has established its mental health response team because we may see the need for those services increase and on all fronts.
The final phase of the mental health response team is officially underway. 2 police officers have begun working directly with paramedics in order to ensure mental health services are provided.
Reusable bags may become a hot commodity if the city's newest ballot measure is approved by voters in April 6th municipal election. The plastic bag ban that we mentioned 2 weeks ago was read and voted on for the last time during the city council meeting 2 days ago. It passed in a vote of 5-2 with Mayor Troxel and Councilman Ken Summers dissenting once again. If voters pass the ban, plastic bags will be banned and disposable paper bags will cost 12 cents apiece.
Speaking of the plastic ban, many Fort Collins residents and members of City Council are worried that this plastic ban is going against the state. A Colorado law enacted in 1993 prohibits municipalities to ban single-use plastics. This law is one of the reasons Mayor Troxel voted against the plastic ban. Let's see what City Attorney Carrie Daggett has to say about this legal issue.
There is, I'll say, fairly widely held belief that that statute prohibits local governments from enacting the kind of ban that is in this ordinance. I would not interpret the new language as conceding the issue. it does recognize the potential that if this issue were litigated, there could be a determination that, in fact, the city is entitled to adopt this ban. What it simply does is says until there's clarity around the issue and a determination, the ordinance wouldn't be in effect.
So Kenny, how will this plastic ban affect you in your life?
Well, I know I need to go out and get some reusable grocery bags because I cannot afford 12 cents a bag on top of my groceries. How about you?
Personally, I don't really go grocery shopping anyway, but I do need to invest in reusable bags anyways.
Well, speaking of ballot measures, Hughes Stadium is right on there. And what should be done with the land surrounding the Hughes Stadium area? It's a question that sparked controversy ever since it was asked 2 years ago. After Judge Juan Villaseñor ruled that the proposed purchasing of CSU's Hughes Stadium area is not an administrative matter, the measure is back on the ballot. If people vote for the proposal, the city will attempt to purchase the land at fair value. However, CSU is not obligated to sell the land. The university has sought support from Fort Collins Downtown Development Authority and the community. Well, stay tuned, Rams, for the weather forecast with Morgan Gardner.
Then more local news after the break.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hey Rams, I'm Morgan Gardner filling in for weather, and let's get right on into it. If we look at the clear conditions right now, it's about 18 degrees, but it feels like 12, so it's a little chilly outside right now. Got a clear wind about 5 degrees, so not too chilly, but still brisk. Here's some satellite for the next week or so. As we see, we have a lot of cloud coverage coming in through the next week. What this means for you is that it's going to be pretty sunny through the weekend, but next week you can expect some snow as we roll into the next winter storm around Wednesday. Going to be a little bit chillier this week, but enjoy the sun while you can. As we look into the overnight lows, we can see that it's going to be pretty chilly again. Along I-25, it's going to be about 14 degrees in Denver, Colorado Springs, Pueblo area, 9 degrees. Along the east side, you can see that it's going to be about 12, 3 in Lamar. And as we move on the west side, you can see that it's going to be about 9 degrees and a big, well, I guess negative 2 degrees in Gunnison. As we go on to the overnight in the upper highs for tomorrow, excuse me there, you can see it's going to be a bit warmer and a lot more warmer than it has been this week. It's going to be about upper 40s across the region. A couple places going to be a little lower. Gunnison, Telluride area, about 30 degrees there. But for Fort Collins area, it's going to be around the 43. So it's going to be a pretty good weekend. As you can see for tomorrow's forecast, it's going to be about 43 degrees, a low of 16, with a lot of wind coming in, 10 to 20 mile per hour winds. Definitely not going to be going outside. I'm going to be blowing away, so not going to be doing that. But it is going to be pretty sunny tomorrow, a little bit of cloud coverage, sunset at 5:40, so make sure you go out and check that. And as we go into the week's forecast, you can see that this weekend is going to be pretty sunny, and it's going to be pretty sunny the whole rest of the week. 43, 40, and 38 through the weekend, and as we get on to Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be in the upper 50s. A lot more snow coming in through the week as we move into Wednesday and Thursday, things like that. But for the rest of the week here, it's going to be pretty sunny, pretty bright outside. So get out, get active if you can. And that's all the time we have for weather tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around and we'll get back to news. Thanks, Rams.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
Welcome back, Rams.
There's more news to catch up on, so let's get right into it.
A fire alarm was set off late Tuesday night in one of CSU's dormitories. This is the sound that woke up Braden Hall residents at Colorado State University at 11 p.m. on February 16th.
I think someone was just playing with matches and it just set off a fire alarm. I don't think anything bad is happening.
Honestly, I think someone just smoked a little too hard.
Students were riddled with confusion after they were forced out of the building into the harsh winter night.
It was loud, but I wasn't really scared.
Students were standing outside in the cold for approximately 15 minutes until the Fort Collins Fire Department approved students to go back inside. The fire alarm was triggered after a cooking incident went wrong on the 4th floor. Luckily, no students or personal belongings were harmed. This made for a pretty unexpected and eventful night for residents of Braden Hall. Let me tell you, waking up close to midnight to a fire alarm is definitely not how I wanted to spend my Tuesday night.
I know I've definitely been there. The Board of County Commissioners, as well as the Environmental and Science Advisory Board, are now accepting nominations for the Environmental Stewardship Awards. Anyone who would like to nominate an individual, business, or other organizations can do so at larimer.org. Successful nominees are defined by effective and creative solutions that show leadership and sustainability. The nomination period for the award ends on March 28th.
A local church here in Fort Collins is expanding its unused land for affordable housing. The Rockies Christian Church is planning to open around 70 apartments, family homes, a community home with affordable childcare, and around 1 or 2 homes for people with disabilities. The project will begin development during 2022 and will hopefully wrap up by 2024. CTV will keep you updated as these plans progress.
CSU's College of Business is going to host Todd Marksberry, the president of Canvas Credit Union, in the Dean's Distinguished Leadership Series. Marksberry will be giving a detailed talk on culture in a business environment and how leadership plays a large role. The talk will also include questions asked by audience members. Early registration for the discussion is encouraged as space for the event will be limited.
If you're looking to get involved in some friendly competition, you're in luck. Colorado State University's Salazar Center for North American Conservation is hosting its 2nd annual incentive prize, the Thriving Cities Challenge. This competition invites those in the community to work in teams, submitting proposals that enhance equity, resilience, and the health in the face of climate change. The deadline to submit applications is on Thursday, April 15th. For more information on the eligibility criteria, you can visit the challenge website at thrivingcitieschallenge.org. Well, Rams, that's all the news we have for you tonight. I'm Samantha Medley.
And I'm Kenneth Frederick. Stay tuned. Brendan Fairbairn has your latest on sports here on CTV.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But, here's the thing. Can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like, that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, the commitment, the drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume, discover new ways to develop great talent, like me.
The Going Ram fans, welcome back to your Thursday night sports show, The Blitz Season 2. Hosted again by yours truly, Brendan Fairbairn. Rams volleyball head coach Tom Hilbert recently made history with yet another win. CSU softball is finally starting their delayed season, And, of course, I have my favorite sports betting lock for this weekend covered in Lock of the Week. So enough with the introductions, let's get it started. Colorado State volleyball head coach Tom Hilbert has been coaching the Rams for 24 years now. That's longer than most CSU students have been alive. In his 24th season as the Rams head coach, Hilbert was able to surpass 300 Mountain West wins after beating the Nevada Wolfpack last Friday night, 3-1. With the milestone, Hilbert becomes the only coach in Mountain West history to reach that many conference wins throughout their career, and that is the only one of the many accomplishments under Coach Hilbert's belt. He's also a 12-time Mountain West Coach of the Year and already a member of the CSU Athletics Hall of Fame. He also has 23 NCAA tournament appearances, 17 Conference Coach of the Year awards over his many stops in coaching, and his spot as the winningest coach in CSU history. But most impressive of them all is that Coach Hilbert ranks 21st in all-time winning percentage throughout the many years of collegiate volleyball. Now, with another record down, Ram fans have hope that the Oklahoma native can coach for another 24 years. CSU volleyball has been off to a great start to their season, starting 3-1. Ram softball is looking to start their season strong as well when they travel down to College Station, Texas for the annual Texas A&M Invitational this Saturday. CSU will be one of the 4 teams competing this weekend, playing Texas Tech and Texas A&M to start the weekend off, and then Central Arkansas and a rematch with the Aggies on Sunday. The Rams played the Red Raiders again on Monday to end the tournament, but taking a deeper look at the matchups, 4 players to keep an eye out for this weekend are CSU's Ashley Michelena, Texas Tech's Brianna Russell, Texas A&M Mackenzie Herzog, and Central Arkansas's Reagan Sperling. All 4 of these girls either led or were in the top 3 on their teams last season in batting average, bats, hits, and runs. Michelena was a 2019 Mountain West All-Conference pick, while Russell was All Big 12 first team. Herzog was respectfully ranked number 50 in the 2020 College Softball Top 100 list, and Sperling was 2020 All-SLC first team selection. This will surely be a tough test for Coach Fisher and her developing squad as they look to make it back to the NCAA tournament. But now it's time for my favorite segment, Lock of the Week, where I pick my favorite game or player prop for the next few days. Now, for my last pick, I surprisingly lost. I know I am not the only one that was shocked that Tyreek Hill got held to under 90 yards in the big game. I really thought that Tyreek and the Chiefs were going to at least put up more yards and points. Hey, but as a Broncos fan, I did not mind seeing the Chiefs lose by 22 to the Bucs. But I plan to bounce back for my second pick of the semester. This week, I have the number 1 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs beating the St. Mary Gales at the home by a spread of 17. I know it's a big spread, but Gonzaga absolutely runs the West Coast Conference. They are undefeated on the season, winning 20 straight games. The Gales have been pretty decent, having a pretty decent season record-wise at 11-6, but they are still close to last in the league because of their 2-4 WCC record. When they played last month, St. Mary's put up a decent fight compared to most teams against Gonzaga, only losing by 14 to a Bulldogs team that has 15 games won by 14 or more points. I fully expect this one to be a blowout by more than 20, so a 17-point spread seemed too good to pass up. The only risky trend I see is both teams are 9-8 against the spread this season, but hey, that's all gambling is, one big risk. But even with this, I am still confident in my high spread pick. The Bulldogs are just too much of a powerhouse not to cover the spread against a mediocre West Coast Conference team. Well, Rams fans, that's all the sports action I have for tonight's show. But don't go away just yet. Tom Isaacson has all the spice and entertainment. Like always, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday for CTV Sports.
Queen is just my everything. Right now, I wouldn't know where my life would be without her.
They say chivalry's dead. It's not. Terrence is a gentleman. He opens doors. His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. It takes me to a place of no hope. It takes me to a place of loneliness. It saddens me. When you discriminate against somebody in housing, where do these people go? Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
How's it going, Rams? My name is Tom Isaacson, and it is time to give you all of the entertaining entertainment news for tonight. And we start with a question. Do you remember going to see things, doing stuff, life? Well, we have a bit of a hope for return to normalcy, with Poudre School District allowing spectators at their sporting events again. The local school district wasn't allowed to have any spectators at their sporting events due to a surge in cases. However, they recently reached an agreement with the Larimer County Health Department to allow some spectators at varsity matches. It's so good seeing these events coming back. Oh, and by the way, Scopalas. Okay, parking is annoying. There's never a spot in the free zone, and all the paying stations are super inconvenient to use. But now there is hope with CSU's new parking app. CSU has partnered with an app called Park Mobile, which has been commonly used in Denver. This new app allows you to reserve a spot, pay for parking, and extend your time all from your phone, which makes things much easier and reduces contact on common surfaces to slow the spread of bacteria and viruses. Now I won't have to worry about being late for class since I don't have to use those pay stations anymore. Now, let's go back to that point of doing things. A popular spot here in town is still going strong during all of this craziness, and they have some new exciting stuff coming.
In the heart of Old Town lies a place that some may not have heard of, seeing as it's quite literally underground. This is Pinball Jones.
There's like a no BS environment in here, it's a community space for everyone.
Pinball Jones started in one tiny room with just 10 pinball machines, but now it has grown to include a multitude of different pinball machines and arcade games.
When we get something new and bright and exciting in here, it generally draws people to that machine.
From classics such as Circus Voltaire and Medieval Madness, to new gems like Star Wars, Deadpool, and more. But pinball isn't the only big part. There's a bar, and it's growing.
We were operating on a beer wine license, and we got a full tavern license, so we'll have some light snacks and a full bar. We hope to have it built out by the middle of March. We want to have hopefully focused, high quality stuff. It's not really we don't want to become the next Shots bar.
Of course, with a pandemic, how does a place like this get along?
Well, it's definitely had a negative impact on our business overall, of course, but I think people, they get bored and they want to have something to do, so it's hard to tell, it's hard to tell what it would have been like had we not made the changes that we did when we were closed.
Using the downtime to make some renovations, Pinball Jones has been ready to safely bring back pinball players.
I want everybody to be safe and comfortable, but also, it's a balancing act, and I think we're hitting that, middle ground pretty well. So.
I've been going to Pinball Jones since I was 13 years old, so it's great seeing it still safely operating during the pandemic. My favorite machines are Circus Voltaire and The Sopranos. Both are fabulous games to play. Now, a pretty special part of northern Colorado is Lake Loveland, which is suffering from sort of a drought. But residents of Loveland are up and ready to change that. A new campaign has started called Fill the Love. Get it? And is a campaign to get Loveland Lake filled so that once again residents can have a place to chill out over the summer. Literally. With Colorado water laws, which complicate the process as the lake was originally a reservoir, the campaign is facing some difficulty. But after years of low water levels turning the lake into a bit of a pond, many citizens are keen to get the lake filled. I think that would be pretty cool. Now, whenever I go online, I usually find something interesting and new that may or may not blow my mind. And this week was no exception, as I went on the internet and found something truly mind-boggling. The musical performance you are about to witness is done entirely with marbles. Take a look. Now, I don't want to show the entire clip here because it's just too outstanding to just sort of steal it. But
You can check out Marble Machine by Wintergotten on YouTube to see the full thing. It actually blows my mind that that man has constructed such a complicated machine to create that. I have such little patience that if I tried to do that, I'd lose my marbles. Well, at least my dad's laughing. And with all of that, Rams, we are out of time. Thank you for hanging out with me this evening. Be sure to tune in next Monday for the sports show. My name is Tom Isaacson with CTV 11 Entertainment. Good night.